it's worth investigating.
Yes.
Why is my church monoethnic?
Yes.
That's
the big question.
Okay. I'm concerned. I'm a pastor. I'm concerned. I have this monoethnic church. How do I know if racism is an actual problem? Let's get into that question.
Well, you have an all-white church. No, just playing.
But that's the narrative.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the truth is, having a monocultural church, monoethnic church might be a sin problem.
Could be.
Might not be a sin problem.
Maybe it's not.
Our position is that more data would be needed.
We have to have evidence. That's the thing. Like you have to look around and ask questions, get into conversations with people, not just make the assumption that because everyone in my church has white skin or any specific skin color that they are perpetrators of racism.
Yeah. So just because the majority of white people are in the room doesn't automatically mean it's a racist space.
Yeah.
But critical race theory does
some Christians.
It does tell me that.
Yes.
So that might be another way that we've allowed the culture to come in and affect our thinking.
Yes.
So if I'm keeping out certain people simply because of their ethnicity, that might be a problem.
Yes, I would say that is a problem. That's partiality. And we're told in James 2, not to participate in partiality. So it would be a sin.
So that is some data that we would need to look at is, okay, are we welcoming everybody, no matter what your ethnicity is, to come in and hear the gospel?
Yes.
Okay. So that type of inclusion, that type of welcoming, we're for, doors wide open.
Yes.
Yeah. To come hear the gospel. But like Allison was asking before, when we're talking about the multi-ethnic church, my question often back to the pastor when we get in these conversations is, would you tell a Korean pastor that he needs to integrate his Korean-speaking church? Because it's monoethnic. Because if there's something defective about a monoethnic church, then we're going to have to tell all the Korean pastors, the Chinese pastors, the Farsi-speaking churches, that they need to integrate.
Now, here's a question that I think is fair to ask.
Because it's a principle.
I think it's a principle, but those churches are based on language.
Yes.
Whereas a white church would share the same language as a Black church.
But they wouldn't necessarily always share the same culture.
Yes.
So, all right, let's change the scenario a little bit. Let's say that you have two different cultures. Could they authentically conduct a worship service in a way that reflects, part of their culture, maybe in their music?
Yeah.
Or, maybe they do readings out of scripture in two different languages. Maybe there's a multi-generational situation or something. So, it's worth investigating.
Yes.
Why is my church monoethnic?
Yes.
That's
the big question.
Okay.
Why is it monoethnic? Is it because of sin and partiality, or is it because of worship preference? Is it because music style? There could be a myriad of reasons why your church may be monoethnic. And this is outside of just looking at like white churches, quote unquote, but any church can look and say, hey, why is my church monoethnic? Yeah. And inquire about that.
Yeah. Because the reasons might be benign.
Yeah.
Or they might not be.